Good to see you. Irilyn and Strife sent word. Some of the artifacts we have in storage are acting up. They need a hand to make sure they stay calmed and don't rip a hole in reality. Anyways, we can go whenever you're ready.
You've been quiet.
I know. Just thinking. But I said we'd talk, didn't I? I heard a voice after we saved that man. It told me I was touched by the ancients and that I should seek it out. Seek her out.
Do you think this voice has answers about your magic?
She must. What if she's like me? Maybe that's why only I heard her. She said to look to those closest to the stone to locate her.
Meaning?
The children of the stone. Dwarves. Not surfacers like me, but the ones from the deep roads. Almost 10 years ago, a shaper from Orzammar bonded with a titan.
Titans, ancients. You think it's related?
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Volta. That was the shaper's name. Maybe there are more like her down there.
Or you could be the only dwarf in the world with magic, which must feel nice.
A little, but I don't know everything about it yet, and I probably should. I know some people in Orzammar. I'll reach out. If I hear anything, you'll be the first to know.
Rook, Ilario sent word. He's got intel on Zara. He wants to meet up. Fancy a trip to Treviso?
Sounds like fun.
So, hiring the demon of Virantium was your suggestion.
It was a possible lead. Finding things and tracking Venatori. That's what I'm here for.
After all the jobs I did in Minrathis, the last thing I expected was a Tevinter mage to be involved in breaking me out.
Well, good. I'd hate for assassins to find me predictable.
Hello, Air. How goes the training?
It is good to see you back in the diamond. Your influence on Viago does not go unnoticed. You might not state it as frankly, but you know as well as I that crows are more aligned than they often appear to outsiders.
Your new friend, right? I'm Dartonia Charis.
Dimitri. Just Dimitri.
Hello. Just Dimitri.
What?
Nothing. Never mind.
So, you're not sure you can trust me, but it was your idea to hire me.
I made the suggestion. Rook made the call. Why? Are you worried I have ulterior motives? That I planted the idea in Rook's head for my own ends?
That wasn't where this was going.
Really? Because I'd have questions. A Tevinter mage breaks a demon-possessed assassin out of prison. What's her angle?
Mierda, and people say I'm overly suspicious. You're keeping an eye on me. Is it the demon or the mage killer name?
Maybe I want the secrets of your coffee supplier.
That's not...
Don't flatter yourself too much. I don't trust anyone on first meeting, and I keep an eye on everything.
Well, if you do want coffee, let me know.
So, the demon of Virantium.
The name wasn't literal when I got it.
No, but the reputation that went with it.
I suppose I earned it.
And then some. Assuming my sources are accurate.
Past reputation means nothing when your current contract's still open.
I know the feeling.
Come on, Ilario will meet us at Cafe Pietra. It's not that far from here. We have time before he arrives. I wouldn't mind looking around a while. The markets are running. Good. I need to get some things while we're here. Treviso. barely had time to look around when we returned from the ossuary.
This place, does it feel very different?
In some ways, more than I expected, but then, perhaps it's me. Ah, here.
A potted plant?
For Harding's garden. Spearmint is supposed to calm bad dreams. It's good in desserts, too.
So, you and Ilario are cousins?
Yes, but we're more like brothers. Katarina took us both in, a long time ago now. Here's the place. Belara mentioned the dayless seafood recipe she wants to make.
The demon of Virantium is grocery shopping for the team?
Have you seen what they eat? It's a miracle you didn't all starve before you hired me.
When we met, it didn't seem like Ilario and Katarina were close.
It was hard to be close to her, even for me, and I was her favorite.
Welcome to the Dogma Duelist. While magic is outlawed under the Atom, we have some excellent custom and
A good selection. Fresh fruit. Nev only eats fried fish. You'd think a detective would have discovered scurvy by now.
Is that everything on the list?
Yes, and Ilario should be here by now. Let's go before he gets himself in trouble.
We've got foods and herbs to help your body find the perfect balance.
You can't buy something for everyone but yourself. Here, this is for you.
A wyvern-toothed dagger? I loved wyverns as a boy. Katarina would never let me have one of these, though.
Welcome. Mariana and I run the best street stand in Tunisia.
Cafe Pietra's just ahead.
That's where we're meeting your cousin? Why not the casino?
House Cantori has many talents. Making coffee is not one of them.
Finally. I thought you might leave me here all by my lonesome.
Please. You think I'd ever pass up Cafe Pietra's coffee?
You see, Rook, my cousin is all stomach and no heart.
Don't mind him. Ilario cannot appreciate anything but himself. They serve a specialty roast here, Andoral's breath. Bitter and sweet, like a kiss goodbye. You should try it.
You just described my dream cup of coffee. So, have we done enough? 3 crows in a coffee shop chatting about nothing to bore the spies?
Just about. The most persistent one gave up when Lucanis started getting all romantic about the roasts.
It's a very good roast. So, you have something?
The crows I sent after Sarah have picked up her trail. They say she's gone to Virantium.
I have a friend who's very good at finding people.
Katarina was first Talon. This is crow business. We can handle it.
Apparently not. Your lead is no good, cousin.
Do you have better information?
We're compromised. There's no other way Zara could even touch Katerina. You need your eyes here, in Antiva.
Zara would never be foolish enough to stay. Not with you out for blood.
Of course she would. If the crows protecting her are here.
Rook, reason with him, would you? He's being paranoid.
I am not paranoid. She came after me. She came after Katerina. She will come for you too.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll clean house, all right? Leave this to me.
He's gone.
Of course he is. Ilario always caves under pressure.
Your cousin only seems to hear about 1 word in 10.
He's always been this way. He hears what he wants to hear.
Bitter and sweet. You called that blend. Like a kiss goodbye. So, what would a first kiss be?
Honey and lavender cream. Sweet. Intriguing. And you? How would you describe it?
First kisses? It's been a while. I might need a refresher.
I see. You lead an adventurous life.
No more than you, I'm guessing.
I've always thought that to live truly is to live fully. But even before I was captured, my life was not really my own. So much had been determined for me.
Being grandson to the first Talon must come with a lot of baggage.
Much like House Deriva.
Since I took the initiative against the Antam, I don't need to worry about disappointing them.
Rook, there's no need to doubt yourself. And if you do, I'll be here to convince you. How's your coffee?
Dark, complex, and intriguing. Ready to head back to the lighthouse?
Almost.
Occupied. The insult of it.
It's more than insulting.
It's salt in the wound. And that is my purview.
I could have daggers in 100 necks by nightfall.
No doubt. But more necks would present themselves tomorrow.
I have other daggers.
Am I interrupting?
You're a crow. And a deriva. You're expected. Forgive Thea. You know how she gets when a contract is delayed.
You're apologizing for her? Strange days.
On that, we would agree, and perhaps more.
You want help against the gods. We want Treviso free. We now think they may be the same problem. The occupation has a face. The Antam commander, Keith Lord butchered Dathrata. But Viago thinks killing him outright is short-sighted.
The butcher took the city suspiciously fast. Removing him is useless if someone else can repeat that, with the help of gods or something else. We all know assassination is not really about killing. It's about sending a message.
And what message would that be?
The crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free.
The gods care about taking Treviso?
The butcher wants Treviso. The gods may just want the Antam.
But Antam distrust magic and outright fear demons. They should be enemies.
Power can turn anyone against their own interests, their own people.
We crows are all the army Antiva has, but it's not like we can field a garrison. Outside support?
The king would say to call on us. The price for being patriots.
Sounds like you think the occupation wasn't just about force.
Cruel as the butcher is, he didn't break the city with a siege. It was sudden and complete.
Like he had it all mapped. Where to march and what to close off to choke resistance.
He had inside information? Spies?
He had something.
And until we know what it was, killing him isn't the contract.
Butcher Dothrada. What do you know about him?
The Antam army fractured, split among warlords, and he seems to have kept the most traditional discipline. And the rank and file like it. His numbers keep growing, but the Butcher himself is odd.
Odd how?
He gives daily speeches about how the occupation is somehow merciful. And the way he talks, it's familiar. It's like he thinks he belongs here. And I won't have it.
So we send a message from the Crows. What's our first step?
We have a scout named Dareth. He said he was onto something the Butcher was hiding.
He was in the Drown district, so that's a place to start. Find our crow and help with his contract.
Help a fellow crow. Then what?
We break this occupation. We craft the message one step at a time.
And when we finally assassinate the person who leashed Treviso, that death will tell everyone. The crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free. I've noted the location of Dareth and his cousin, Jacobus, in the Drown district. They're always together. Jacobus will be eager to help. Perhaps too eager for one so young.
Can you blame him? We've all lost too much to this occupation.
Still not open to training me?
There was never a need. In Viago's house, you received the best training available. That training augmented the innate talents you already possessed. I think those talents, more than anything, will serve you in your coming trials.
Crows love a good zipline.
You know, you're somewhat famous among the Shadow Dragons. At least the Demon of Virantium is.
Famous or infamous?
Because you're a mage killer. You turned that title on the Venatori. That's a point in your favor.
I saw some of the Shadows work before. Well, anyway, their good opinion is worth having. What?
Nothing. You're just so serious.
So are you.
Cynical, sure. Married to the job, I'll give you that one too, but serious? Have I crossed that line? Well, what now? Do I brood to the middle distance? Speak in solemn tones?
All right. Take it back. The number of wisps that find you in the lighthouse is unnerving. Spite agrees.
The three of us on the same page. Well, isn't that something?
If by something, you mean also unnerving. How many of your cases trace back to the Venatori?
Too many, if you're hoping the cult's not a problem. Not enough if you want to blame them for every hurt the city suffers.
Of course.
If you want a less complicated answer, you won't find him in Rathus, or anywhere else.
Everybody here used to sneer at Canary inside the bar. Now the Antam are in charge, and these horns are my ticket to better things.
You're an independent? There's no detectives guild in Minrathos?
They're called city guards, usually, and they're useless.
There must be other detectives in the city, though. The weight of Minrathis does not sit solely on you.
Depends on which day of the week you're asking.
Without a guild, who negotiates your contracts?
I do.
How do you keep track of the going rates for detectives all over Minrathos?
I don't.
Mierda. I should introduce you to my negotiator. Not even an army stops the Treviso market.
Almost feels like home.
Goodbye.
I'm not Antam. I'm Rithari. Healer. I'm help. If the butcher cares so much for Treviso, he'll make sure we have the proper ingredients for this risotto.
Best place in Treviso.
People feel at home here.
The butcher wants to see Treviso? Then he shall. My father will throw a ball, and I will wear the best dress.
Whatever's happening outside, this is a safe place for a hot cup of coffee. Whatever you like.
The market never stops, even during occupation.
I meant to pick up more spices. Another time.
This is where Viago told us to meet with Dareth, the crow investigating the butcher. His cousin Jacobus should be here too. I've heard of them around the diamond. It's just the two of them left. There's the place. Keep your eyes open. We may not be the only ones interested.
He was my cousin!
We've got Anton between us and our crows.
Then it's a bad...
What? Don't worry, Taya and Viago sent us.
You're with Lucanus? Yes! Kill them! Kill the on top! Stay in cover. They killed Darren! They killed my cousin!
That's done. Are you Jacobus?
Darren, my cousin. They... Please, you have to finish Darrett's contract. It's about the butcher. My cousin was going to spy on the butcher. He told me we'd pick up the contract from a dead drop. But then... someone has to finish this for Darrett. Please.
We will take care of it. Go back to the diamond.
I will, just give me a minute.
We should see if Dareth had any information on him. That note said Dareth should pick up the contract at the usual place across from Taya and Viago. Just follow the marks. The crow who dropped it off left marks for Dareth to follow.
I've spotted them around the city. I think there's one nearby on the walls.
Let's go look. That's a crow marker. Real tricky to throw. That's gotta be Dareth's trail. Keep an eye out.
The Drowned District has had other names, but none stuck. Antevans love drama.
Mimratha's had a sinking problem. Now part of it flies.
Another mark, this way. Here's another crow mark. Our next crow mark.
So you've had jobs where you killed your target, and then, surprise, they aren't dead.
I've had a demon possess the corpse immediately afterwards. Technically, the target was dead, but try explaining that to the person who hired you. And there was an incident with someone who'd been impersonating the real target for years. We had to renegotiate who that contract was actually for.
So the work's not so cut and dried.
They all wound up dead in the end.
This is where the marks lead. Dareth's contract must be here somewhere. The butcher is making poison. Comic.
I've heard of it. It does things to your mind. Nothing pleasant.
If I were the butcher, it'd be a good way to keep people in line.
We cannot let the butcher unleash this on Treviso.
He won't. The Antam brought in a comic master to mix the poison. He's at the garrison. We stop him there before this goes any further.
It's nice to get out of the lighthouse.
I've never met a mage who distrusts the Fade as much as you.
Source of magic, sure. But it's also made of tricks, dreams, and unanswered questions. It pays to be cautious.
Only your gods will miss you.
They're down.
More essence.
You do when you finish a job.
I think that's great. And maybe grab a bite to eat, then take notes on anything that feels like a loose end.
A short-lived celebration.
What can I say? The work doesn't always tie up when you think it does. I guess that's less true for you when the target's dead.
The contract's done. Though sometimes they're not as dead as you think. You know, you haven't asked as many questions about Spite as I thought you would.
I'll ask what I need to. Plus, you and the ossuary records have revealed a fair bit. So has Spite when he shows himself. Sorry.
That's all right.
Outside that, I won't poke at Venatori wounds. I know what those are like. Company.
Boss, over here!
Take them out, quick!
Good work, bro.
We're in. Let's find the comic master.
I can smell you, an outsider. Time to test my gift. I am will made flesh, so much flesh. Finally, the fight the butcher denied has come to me! Prove my worth!
The crows are here to end your threat, poisoner.
Poison? You face the gift of the gods! Fear! We rise with...
It's done. The comic master's dead.
Good riddance.
First things first. Let's destroy the rest of the poison. Then we figure out what was going on here. That's the last of the poison, thankfully. Let's look for anything else that explains what's happening. Wait, this note says that wasn't all the comic. The butcher's angry because some went missing.
Who got their hands on it?
No idea, but the note does mention the butcher's inside trader. The occupation had help. Tay and Viago need to know they were right.
you out of your minds?
Someone had to act.
They most certainly did not! I told you crows to stay out of this!
Out of what? Defending our home?
If we had a stronger civil government instead of a bunch of circus criminals, the Antam wouldn't have a foothold in the first place!
Circuses charge admission. We did all that for free.
This is Governor Evenchi. They have concerns.
My concern is how you've endangered the city.
We're defending Antiva.
These protections are in place for the good of everyone. You act without oversight.
We crows are the oversight.
And yet, here we are, awash in Antam. And now, you've angered the butcher.
There's also the gods.
Excuse me?
They're using the Antam and making them monsters.
And the butcher?
You two were right. He had help taking the city. Human traitors.
I didn't want to believe it. Killing the butcher does nothing if someone could just sell us out again.
I'd start right here. You Talons are known for infighting and betrayal.
I've had about enough. A fellow crow died for this contract.
That's enough. Rook, thank you for finishing that contract. The only reward we have is to ask you for more.
It's my home, too.
Evenchi is right about one thing. The butcher will not like that we're fighting back.
We need to be ready. Rook, I will have every crow tracking this traitor and the gods, and we will send word when we find something.
The stakes are too high. This should be left to proper officials.
Go back to filing trade receipts, Evenchi. The crows rule Antiva.
And Treviso will be free. With or without you, Governor.